All right, we're calling this meeting to order at 5:15 p.m. We do have a properly posted agenda and an established quorum. At this time, we're going to move to item number 2, closed session. 2A, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, attorney consultation for the purpose of a private consultation with the board's attorney in person or by telephone about pending or contemplated litigation or a settlement offer or a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the board under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the state of Texas clearly conflicts with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code.
We have C and D.
Okay, skip 2. We'll go to C and D.
C and D.
2C, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, personnel to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, including superintendent or board member, or to hear a complaint or charge against an officer or employee. 2D, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.076, security devices or security audits to deliberate the deployment or specific occasions for implementation of security personnel or device or a security audit, presentation of DISD district vulnerability assessment full report, best practices and discussion on SRO assigned duties according to TEC 37.081D. At this time, at 5:16, we are adjourned to closed session. It is 6:03 PM, and we are reconvening with our regular board meeting. We're moving to item number 4. First of all, welcome everybody for all whatever reasons you're here, multiple reasons. So we'll move on to number 4. Matt, Dr. Joyner, if you would lead us in the invocation, please rise, everyone.
Will you stand with me and pray? Father God, we are grateful for the opportunity to be here doing this work tonight. We are grateful for each of the individuals who sits in the chairs in this room tonight, the administrators and the parents and the teachers and the musicians and the civic leaders and all of the beautiful people who are here tonight to celebrate the work of this incredible district. We're grateful for the leadership of individuals like Dr. Karen Rue, who has been with us these last few months. We're grateful for her leadership and for her friendship and the many things that she's done to advance our district. We pray that you would bless the work that we do here tonight, and that everything we do and say would be in your will. And we pray these things in your name. Amen.
All right. Do we want to go out there with them?
There are little ones.
Yeah. So tonight we have the honor of having the students leading the Pledge of Allegiance from the Ennis Elementary STEM Academy. We have Emma Cowey, who's in kindergarten. Her parents are Ashley and Josh Cowey. I hope I pronounced your last name all right. Okay, thank you. Then Colin Krebs in kindergarten, and Clara Krebs in 3rd grade. Parents are Brooke and Joseph Krebs. And then we also have Rebecca Krebs in kindergarten, and Catherine Krebs, 1st grade. Their parents are Ashley and Dustin Krebs. So we have 6 kiddos that are coming here to help us lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Do y'all want to come up here? Okay. Y'all ready? So everybody turn and face the flag this way and put your hand over your heart. You're right. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Monique, do you want us to go over there? Okay. So, board, if y'all would go on that side, we're going to go take a picture with these precious little kids.
These are so cute.
All right, we are moving on to item number 6. Ms. Bird is going to let us know about certain very exciting groups of people for recognition.
Hi, good evening, everyone. As you all may remember, last year, December 2024, just before Christmas, Rand Elementary was given a really substantial gift from the congregation at Crossroads Church here in Decatur. They had a gift of what Mrs. Tanya Ledger, sorry, can't get the words out, principal at Rand Elementary, described as the gift of technology. And they really came in and got smart TVs and a number of other devices for the entire suite of teachers and staff there, valuing just over $13,000, specifically $13,773.58. And so we're immensely grateful to them and wanted to come up and have them recognized.
They're here.
There's your pastor right there.
I love it when they hide from us. Does the board want to come down and take a photo with them?
Sure.
Read their names.
And while everyone gets seated, this really was a gift for Rand Elementary. As many of you know, this is our oldest elementary, and their teachers really were working hard without this gift of technology. So we're immensely thankful to Crossroads and their entire congregation. Okay, we have a long list as usual. This has really been an exciting year for students across Decatur ISD, just really doing really well in various competitive seasons. And so tonight we're going to recognize our theater students as well as our swim students. So we're going to start with theater. We have a number of awards for, as many of you know, the mayor of Decatur actually recently recognized March as Theater Month, and so that was a fun thing that we have starting. But also, several theater students performed at the Texas Theater Festival and did immensely well, and several of them were actually able to qualify for the International Thespian Festival that's going to be happening in Indiana later this year. So super excited. I'm just going to read them out by name and have them come up to the front. First, we've got Miss Rebecca Phillips. Miss Catherine Urasek. Barrett Campbell. Catherine Fulton. Carter Sidaway. Meredith Kent. Finley Boyd. And Maggie Ballou. And as a secondary special honor, Maggie Ballou was actually named the 2025 Texas Theater Scholar. And that is a prestigious honor, and we're so happy to have her represent Decatur. Also, I realized when I said Rebecca Phillips' name, it kind of sounded like she's a student. She's actually the wonderful teacher of this amazing program, and they're actually in their competitive season still going right now, so still got a lot to go. So good job, everyone. We'll do one big photo at the end. Did you get a photo? I did. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect.
Miss Phillips. It's bejeweled. Bedazzled, right? Bejeweled.
Oh.
Did he respond that
Yeah,
or anything?
I thought they did.
Yeah, I don't see it. So you can ask if we have any swimmers here.
And do we have any of our swim team here tonight? There may have been some confusion because I don't see them represented.
They're in swimming.
Okay,
They're swimming.
that is okay. We will get them next month. There might have been some confusion just internally. We will definitely get them next month and recognize them for all of their amazing work. Yep. Next month we'll have theater, choir. We'll also have swim and basketball and maybe one or two other groups.
All right, next up, item 7 is public forum. Persons desiring to address the board must sign up at the designated time prior to the meeting. Board policy BED addresses public comment and public testimony at board meetings. Audience participation at a board meeting is limited to the public comment portions of the meeting designed for that purpose. At all other times during a board meeting, the audience shall not enter into discussion or debate on matters being considered by the board unless requested by the presenting officer. No presentation shall exceed 3 minutes. Tonight we have one public speaker, that's Anna Hoy. Come forward, please. Thank you. And if you would, please press the red button so we can hear it, and then we'll just start whenever you start speaking. And do you want a notice of 30 seconds? Or okay. Would you time? Thank you. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Good evening. To start off, I would like to thank Dr. Rue, board members, and distinguished guests for the opportunity to speak at this meeting. My name is Anna Hoy, and I'm a homeschooled sophomore student who lives in Decatur. As you may recall, I spoke at a board meeting in August of 2024 regarding homeschool participation in UIL activities at Decatur. I'd like to thank all who voted in favor of this policy last time I spoke. I'm here again this evening to respectfully request that the board reconsider this policy and vote for it in the upcoming school year, pursuant to HB 547. I'd like to highlight 4 key reasons to support this change. First, homeschooled students can positively contribute to Decatur ISD UIL in the same way as Decatur ISD students. Second, homeschooled families are taxpayers in the community, and it is only right that we be able to participate in the programs that we are funding. Third, allowing homeschool participation will build up unity in Decatur. Finally, and just as important, this is an opportunity for Decatur ISD to take leadership on this issue. Many Texas school districts have acted boldly and decisively to enable homeschool participation. This includes several districts from our area: Bridgeport, Chico, Gainesville, Keller, and Weatherford. Unfortunately, Decatur ISD has thus far chosen to stay behind, and that needs to change. I have many friends that are Decatur students. I value them, their friendship, and support. I love being with them, hanging out, and doing activities together. The camaraderie and connection that I have with them is not defined, nor is it limited as to the fact that they are Decatur students and I am homeschooled. Instead, we are unified by what we have in common. And the same is true for all students who participate in any extracurricular activity. The love for that activity and the connection to others who share that same love for that activity is a unifying force. To summarize, homeschool participation in Decatur ISD athletics should be allowed for 4 reasons. First, homeschooled students can positively contribute to Decatur ISD UIL. Second, homeschooled families are taxpayers in the community. Third, allowing homeschool participation will build up unity in the community. And finally, this is an opportunity for Decatur ISD to take leadership on this issue. Dr. Rue and board members, I encourage you to support homeschooled students' participation in UIL activities at Decatur. It will bring tremendous blessings and unity to our community, and you will be glad that you did it. Thank you for your time, attention, and consideration.
Thank you. All right, before we move on to item number 8, I did want to read quickly a statement. I wanted to acknowledge that this is the last regular board meeting for our interim superintendent, Dr. Karen Rue. Dr. Rue was selected to help lead our district through a transitional time based on her over 40 years of educational administrative experience and her stellar statewide reputation. For over 8 months, she has helped lead Decatur ISD and this board through some very tough decisions on a number of issues. In addition to her superintendent duties, she also led the search for our new permanent superintendent, Taylor Williams, which saved the district many thousands of dollars by not having to use an outside selection firm. While we do have one more special board meeting on Thursday with Dr. Rue, Thursday morning, where we will formally vote to confirm Ms. Williams as our new permanent superintendent. This is the last regular board meeting where we can publicly thank Dr. Rue for her leadership and guidance of Decatur ISD these past several months. So on behalf of the Board of the Trustees, I sincerely thank you and wish you and your family nothing but the very best in the next stage of your life. So we all thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you don't need to do that. Oh, my God. You do not need to do that. Oh, my God. Well, thank you. Thank you all. You know it's been a joy and a privilege to be a part of your community and to be a part of this school district. It is a very special place, and I have no doubt that great things are in store for Decatur ISD. You are truly remarkable people, one of the most generous communities I have ever been a part of, and I know it's because of the community support and the passion that people have for the futures of their children. And so thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. It has been my joy. And I think I will re-enter retirement, and I think that I will look forward to, people ask you, what are you going to do when you retire? Well, you sleep late for at least a week. That's, number one. And then after that, new things and new adventures in life come your way. So thank you all for allowing me to be here. And then I get the privilege, I get to talk about good things happening in Decatur ISD. So since we had our last board meeting, there's been another state championship here in Decatur. Are we going to congratulate that basketball team? It was powerful, powerful. Great to see them. I mentioned to Ms. Phillips that I was going to talk about what happened for them just this past weekend. They one act play was in competition, the district competition. They are the Zone 2 champions, straight ones. They're going on to the district contest. They've got a lot going on in one act play. Their play was Unexpected Tenderness. I hope that you'll have an opportunity to see it next Monday. It is spring break. It's in Denton at 11 a.m. So if you're looking for something good to do, that's right up the best thing to go for. Our swim team will be here next month, but something to look forward to. Logan Fultz, who is one of the strongest swimmers, and I went to one of their swim meets, just you'll ever want to see, is being recognized as the WFAA, and that's Channel 8, Scholar Athlete of the Week, and that session will air March 30th. So take a look at that and see Decatur getting some well-earned recognition. See Logan getting the recognition he deserves. And then the varsity band, just this past week, sweepstakes for the year, first division on stage, in sight reading, and in marching band. They came home with a lot of honors. And then between now and your next board meeting in April, just say a few thoughts and good prayers for our students. They will be taking that ubiquitous STAR test in the month of April, and we'll be knee-deep in it when we come back together. So think about them and their work as they prepare for that. So thank you very much. It's been a joy. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Dr. Rue. Item number 9, the consent agenda. Do you want to talk about that, or do you want me to?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
You have 3 items there.
The board has got this in advance, so you know what those are. The joint election agreement, the minutes from all the special meetings that we had, mainly in February when we were doing our superintendent search, and then 9C, the purchase over $25,000. We've got one of those. If you have any questions or would want to discuss any of those, please do. If not, someone would please make a motion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented to the board.
Got a motion from Nate. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Delvin. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes 6-0.
Very good.
Number
Yes.
10 is now action items.
Okay. So the first item there is to discuss and take possible action regarding TASB Local Update 124. You saw those last month. These are all ones that have been wordsmith adjustments made based on changes in the last 88th session of the legislature, when the last one's coming down the pike for us. Very minimal, and they all align with changes in legal.
On that one, I want to make sure on that DCB and DCE, just reminding, because obviously with turnover,
Right.
making sure we have the list of 21 and non-21 positions, because we didn't approve that after we approve this. So I
Yes,
guess it'll be
that's correct.
next month.
And thank you for that, because this comes to you in two sets. You see the TASB Update 124, and then you see two local policies that have been added with that. Both of those address some flexibility in your local policy. Rather than naming the positions that in your policy, those positions are approved when you approve your administrator contracts and see a detailed list there, and when you approve your compensation plan, and they're listed there within the compensation plan. So you ultimately approve them twice during the course of the spring semester. And this just brings you into alignment. I brought that before you so that that policy is in place before you take action on administrator contracts.
All right, thank you. Any discussion on that, on 10A? If not, can I have a motion, please?
I move that the board add local policies as offered by TASB Policy Services for consideration and according to the instruction sheet for TASB Localized Policy Manual Update 124 and update local policy DCB and local policy DCE.
I got a motion from Chief Campbell. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Dr. Joyner. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes 6-0.
That's right.
All right, 10B, discuss and take possible action regarding the budget amendment for the purchase of 4 route buses.
Yes, thank you. I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe somehow I'm just not as on top of it
No,
tonight.
you're-
Okay, so this one is the next step in the purchase of 4 additional buses, 4 route buses that offers one. It replaces one bus that had a minor fire in it that will more than likely total that bus. The fire damage, smoke damage was sufficient. The other 3 allowed the district to maintain bus routes for under an hour one way, which is a significant improvement over what students have had to work with and campuses have had to work with this past year. Previously, the board approved the purchase of the buses, that we would purchase the buses in this manner. We're bringing it back to you as a budget amendment to make that purchase. The next steps will be the ordering of the bus and buses, receiving them in July, making that payment with the reimbursement resolution being a future step for the board so that you may reimburse yourselves the fund balance through a successful bond referendum. Because at this point, it's very clear that you cannot continue to do the things that are bond-related, bond-funded issues, such as replacing air conditioners and roofs and buses out of the M&O budget you have that funds teacher salaries. It's just not sustainable. And you do need your community's help.
Okay. Any questions or discussion on that? If not, please make a motion, someone.
I recommend the board approve the budget amendment.
I've got a motion from Ms. Snyder. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Chief Campbell. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes 6-0. 10C, discuss and take possible action regarding Corrigan requirement work order number 003.
Yes, thank you. This particular item is an agreement with Corrigan Architects for work that they will do for the district with bond planning. As you know, the Corrigan assisted the district in the work of the Long Range Facility Planning Committee. They have assisted the district in years past and have agreed with the district to work on a bond proposal and a future work around that bond itself with the district and the community. The funding of this would be through the successful passage of a bond referendum. Should that not be the case, then it would be an outright payment to them. But this is an opportunity to move forward and to take advantage of the bond funding that is available to the district.
I just want to point out also for the community that we did not do this before. This is, Corgan, they specialize in this. They're going to head this up and organize the bond campaign. Last time we did not pay for this service, but this is a different, we're doing it differently this time, I guess I should say. I think it's important to note that, I guess.
And perhaps Corgan would appreciate being known that in prior bond programs that they worked with the district somewhat, but did not receive compensation for it. They wanted to support the district. They were very generous with the district. This is, after several times, they're ready to have a formal relationship with the district for their fee structure.
Any discussion or questions about that? If not, would someone please make a motion on 10C?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the requirements of work order number 003 with Corgan.
I've got a motion from Dr. Joyner. Do I have a second? A second. Second from Ms. Schneider. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 10D, discuss and take possible action regarding contracts for Chapter 21 administrators.
Yes, thank you. The board has received the superintendent's recommendation for professional contracts for Chapter 21 administrators. This is typically done in March, as it is this year.
Do I have any questions or discussion on that? If not, someone please make a motion.
Mr. President, I recommend approval of the professional staff as presented and authorize the superintendent to issue the appropriate contract to the employees listed.
I have a motion from Chief Campbell. Do I have a second?
Second?
I have a second from Dr. Joyner. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes 6-0. Item number 11, information. We'll start first with Mr. English on our district technology efficiency report.
Good afternoon. Let me pull this up.
Would you like to share what's new today?
Sorry. My apologies. We have activated a broadcasting system so that the community that is watching from home can now see the presentations in full screen rather than seeing it over somebody's shoulder. So they are actually getting the presentation as it currently stands.
Great.
So they're seeing what you're seeing right
Yes.
there.
So good afternoon. I hope everybody had a good week so far. My job since July has been to evaluate what the technology department has been doing and adjust where needed. Some of the things that we wanted to talk about today are specifically the infrastructure in the district, the cybersecurity, the content filter, the staff and the student equipment, of course, the work orders and the technology requests, and of course the technology staff. First and foremost, the infrastructure for the district. We currently operate with about 57 switches and about 347 access points that have been here since 2016. They have not been upgraded since. The firewall was upgraded this last year. That was replaced in 2024. Networks and infrastructure like that is typically upgraded through E-rate funding. The district would pay about 20%, which is our free and reduced calculation, and everything else is paid through the government side on reimbursement. The next E-rate cycle will begin in September, October of this year. So we will be going for the upgrades this next year in September. One of the things I like to show is right now, the Wi-Fi is one of the biggest concerns at a lot of the campuses, and I wanted to show, this is a heat map showing different campuses and what is currently being utilized. In this case, McCarroll Middle School, you can see the red. It's kind of like what you see in weather reports, red meaning the most use, and greens and blues and lighter use. So this is the largest amount used at any point in any given day. This was on February 25th, I think is when I pulled this report. So as you can see, there's a large use of it in certain areas in McCarroll. Same thing goes with Ennis. There's large sections. In the case of Carson Elementary, you can see there's a large section off to the side. And then, of course, with RAN, it's off on one side of the district. Now, the one that I'm going to show you now is actually a live, or I should say a 24-hour slide of the high school, just to give you kind of an idea how it grows throughout the day. So this is a video, I believe. There you go. So as you can see, the dots are starting to grow, and then all of a sudden it hits, and then large portion of them. The dots represent student devices and staff devices. And then it hits for the better part of the day, and then it dwindles down at the end of the day and such. Now, because of that, because of the red, it represents that the access points are near threshold limits. Basically, access points of that age will handle about 30 to 45 devices per access point. Newer, more modern ones will handle closer to 75 or even 125, depending on the Cadillac version versus the lower end version. But planning and growing for those is definitely something we want to include. Continuing with infrastructure, we currently have about 14 servers, currently all running 2019, which is still under warranty and supported by Microsoft. I will stretch that very clearly. It is something that has been released in 2018. Obviously, the most recent one is 2025 server. That was released just this last year in 2024. My plan is to bring that up to date as quickly as possible. It's just putting the money together and making the purchase. But the plan is to do that sooner rather than later, because I do not like leaving things out of date if I can avoid it. Several of the servers are currently using, we currently have software such as our Skyward system, Edgeforia, the HVAC systems, food service. All of those are running on these servers. So keeping them up to date and safe is a priority. The backup systems that are currently in place do back up both data and email. They've been in place for quite a while, and they are doing a fantastic job. One of the things that I do is I give a scorecard for the current systems in place. As the network goes, it's a B+. It's primarily due to the age of the systems. The servers are a C+, mainly because there's no warranty left. The servers are a little out of date when it comes to the operating system compared to what I would like to see. Then the software is an A standard because they have done their due diligence to make sure that the information is secure, backed up, and encrypted. The backup system is a B+. It is doing an outstanding job. I just like to see more than one. And then the password policy is a B. We do two-factor authentication for the staff. That is a now standard requirement for everybody, but I would like to see a little bit more robust changes as we go forward with additional security measures within the password side. The content filter. Decatur ISD uses a content filter like every other district in the state of Texas and across the United States. We have to follow a policy called CIPA, Child Internet Protection Act. We have to follow that to get E-rate funding. Due to that, we have currently 2 content filters in the district. We have one that covers all the other campuses except for McCarroll, and then one for McCarroll. I believe that when they bought the Chromebooks, they bought the filter as part of that package. So that was the reason that that campus was individualized. We do have to be, of course, CIPA compliant, and then, of course, we also do digital citizenship throughout the year to teach the students to be better internet users and what is not acceptable. That process is handled on each campus, and it happens throughout the entire year. The student activity is stored for multiple months, of course, and but oddly enough, CIPA does not require that we actually track the internet usage of the students. That is something we do in addition to. That is something we make sure we take care of. Now, I am proud to say that as of today, we are going to be implementing a new parent portal app. We're going to start it at McCarroll Middle School. The access will be available starting tomorrow. It is an opt-in approach, so we're going to have people that need or want this will have to fill out a form and submit it to us. It is already going to be active and live as of tonight, if not by first thing in the morning. But the plan is this is strictly for McCarroll Middle School right now. The intent is come beginning of school next year, it will be available for all campuses, all students. Those that wish to have it will have access to it. That is the goal. This access will let the parents see all web activity that they're currently doing and any historical that they may have had in the past. Staff and student equipment. Currently, we have total MacBook Airs of 1,495 that are currently marked with 1157 for the students and around 338 for the staff. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is the staff devices are no longer under warranty. Students are this summer. For an Apple, and I will say this as clear as I can, Apple device repair is not cheap. A replacement on a screen from Apple is around $600. That's the rub. Total iPads in the district, we have 1,904. The largest portion of them is iPad 6 generation, which is significantly older. Current generation is iPad 10, so you can go about four generations back to see how far back we are. iPads for the students is 1,681. Again, repairs and replacements with no warranty. The price will continue to go up. The cost to the district will increase. Chromebooks at the campuses, we have 212 spread out across the elementary campuses and about 889 at the middle school, including another 46 that are touch at the middle school. Replacements for those screens and things like that, out of pocket, would be about $40 a screen. Just be aware of pricing of Chromebooks versus Apple and even Windows devices. There is a significant price difference. The Chromebooks will also be out of warranty, unfortunately, come this summer as well for the majority of them. I don't like it, but that's where we are. In addition to that, the staff and the students also have Apple TVs, document cameras, interactive TVs, and projectors. Most of this equipment is circa 2016. It is starting to show its age. One of the things that we've been working on is we are working on a technology standard committee. We have been meeting for quite a bit now, and we are building a technology standard. Basically, every campus will be built with the same needs from the student devices, staff devices, equipment in the classroom. What is it that they need? And we're going to try to build it to where every classroom, whether you're in the pre-K all the way to seniors, match. So that if a teacher were to leave a campus and go to another campus, the equipment is the same. Now, yes, there will be unique equipment in each of those classes, but this is the standards, the expected to be in every classroom. There shouldn't be stuff missing from that room, and that's what this is for. From a teacher perspective, yes, ma'am. We've been working with we've worked with teachers, community members, trying to get a good understanding of what is desired, what is needed, and we're hoping to build this into possibly a future bond or any future growth within the district. We want this to become an expected moving forward, not just a year, but multi-year. So that way, if we buy something, a new elementary comes up in 10 years, there's the specs of what we're expecting to be in there. Things like that. Work order system. We currently operated this year between July 1st and March 2nd, 683 tickets were given to us. Majority of them were broken iPad screens, printer issues, projector issues, and Chromebook issues. Average time per ticket is less than 24 hours. We are actually closing them most of them within the same day that they're being received. Now, I will sit there and say this caveat. That is only what you see within the ticketing system. The wonderful world of walking down a hallway and since you're already here, I know you're busy, but it's a real experience for us. And unfortunately, there's a lot of tickets on that side of it. I will use the high school and the junior high and those locations because tickets aren't created as much as they show up and we repair and resolve those issues. I always like my graphs. As you can see, by order of days, most tickets are, for the average, closed within 10 days officially, with very few exceptions outside of that scope. Those usually are specialty orders, special equipment that needs to be ordered and implemented. It takes time to get it, grow it, and build it. That's the kind of stuff that takes longer. But I am very proud of my team. They are doing an outstanding job. Yes, we are busy for certain. In addition to that, we have had several work orders throughout the year. 128 MacBook devices have been damaged in this year alone. 9 of those were staff members, unfortunately. 113 Chromebook devices throughout the year. And then 74 elementary iPads were also damaged throughout this year so far. Then in addition to that, within my technology staff, just something to keep in mind, within a business perspective, a business class would run about 123 users per one technician. School districts operate a little differently. We end up most of the time running about 750 users per individual technician. Decatur ISD runs about 1,500 users per individual technician right now. So something to keep in mind. We definitely try to take care of everybody, but I wish I could be able to say, we have a technician at every campus all day, every day. That's an unfortunate thing for right now. We have to make concessions there. It is the struggle, but it is what we do. But we do, obviously, with the ticketing system, we are taking care of things. Things are being handled. It's just, there's always room for improvement. And that is officially what I've got for today for technology. All right, is there any questions?
Can you expand a little more on the E-rate? You mentioned
Yes.
they're going to fund X, and we
Yes.
owe 20% of that.
Yes, sir. So E-rate typically will come in waves of about 5 years for each cycle. The new cycle begins next year. They base it off of free and reduced for the district. The account of, and I can give you numbers based off of last E-rate cycle, was about $400,000 to $500,000 worth of government funding. We only have to come up with about 20% of that. Most school districts will phase it in pieces, so you'll buy $200,000 worth of access points and then $100,000 worth of switches and things like that, and you cycle them over the years to leapfrog over and grow. The challenge becomes when free and reduced starts to get affected, it affects us. Same thing goes with if we don't pursue it, the money is just left out there and not touched. And things like that do become a challenge going forward. The big thing is always to earmark that money and make sure that that is never used for anything but E-rate, and planning ahead. That's the one thing I will always say is, it's coming a year in advance, because you have to start the bid in October, approval begins in February, and implementation doesn't begin until July of that next year. So it is almost a full year cycle between the time of initial to end. And then the requirements are that device has to stay where it is. You can't be traveling. It can't go anywhere else. But after about 3 years, you can technically phase it out after 3 years. Most schools will keep it for the full 5 and then cycle again and then grow within the district. Technology is ever changing, of course. The newest model standard is Wi-Fi 7, which is, I think they call it like DC or DE, and that is as of last year. So that is a new wave above and beyond what we currently even have here. Yes. So that is where we are. Is there anything else? All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Sometimes it's hard to hear some of those
I know.
those statistics and where we stand, especially on hardware. So
Yes, sir.
it's very imperative that this community, we've got to invest in technology for our students. That is a must. Okay, moving on to 11B, our district communication efficiency report with Ms. Byrd.
Hello, everyone. Looks like Todd has left the mic on for me, so that's super exciting. So I'm going to delve in to this really quick. My name is Monique Byrd. For those of you who do not know me, I'm the Director of Communications here for Decatur ISD. I also have the pleasure of having Janet Monreal with us today. She is also our communications assistant as well as the receptionist at the district, and we are a small team, but we are mighty. Oops. Apparently, I don't know how to progress. There we go. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about our team scope, strategic goals, highlights and key achievements, key performance indicators, as well as challenges and opportunities. So everything in this thought bubble is under our umbrella as a team. As you can see, communications is a broad field. A simple definition of it is the strategic management of the flow of information between an organization, Decatur ISD, and its constituents, so students, staff, family, community members, all of that stuff. What's not on here and not in this report, Janet and I both have a partial role with the Decatur Education Foundation, and so for the purposes of this report, that is not here, but that is a wonderful part of our jobs as well. Okay, so when I first got here, y'all, I've been here about 7-ish months. I wanted to take a look at what we were doing previously with our communications, and Decatur has had traditionally really strong communications. What I found was missing was really putting all of those puzzle pieces together in a way that created a map so that the community could really see all of the amazing things that are happening. So if you buy a plot of land, if there's buried treasure on that land, you want a map to that treasure. And so that's what we've tried to do with our communications. Okay, not going over this for the sake of time, but if you look at our balanced scorecard for number 2, investment in faculty and staff, particularly with creating greater engagement, as well as number 3, fostering a culture of excellence with family and community support, those are really the areas where communication is a heavy hitter. And within that, I have to say, for our team, we have a few strategic goals. I can't say that word at all today. I should have rewrote something else. We've got community pride and engagement, really increasing our ability to distribute timely news and information, enrollment, recruitment, and retention of students, staff, data-informed decision-making, district transparency and building trust within our community, branding consistency, as well as administrative housekeeping. And that last one is really just sort of the behind the scenes things that no one ever sees but are important, things like having a digital filing system, having a standard operating procedure, just so that those things are documented for really administrative purposes. Okay, so if you have your devices, either a phone or a laptop, I invite you to go right now to our website, decaturisd.us. You can actually play along with me. We got a little game. So if you've not been to our website in a few weeks, you may not have realized that we actually recently did a refresh. Web best practices is every few years you do have to give your website a kind of refresh or revamp. Otherwise, you go by 10 years and you've not touched your website, and then it starts to look a little dusty. We do not want that. And so that's really the purpose. You will notice at the very top of this page, we did not touch that top level navigation. Our families, our staff, they are used to going to certain pages in certain ways, and so we wanted to ensure that they still have the ability to do that without being confused. And we also did not touch any of the campus pages at this time. But what we did change is that very first image, that hero image in WebSpeak, we wanted to make that so much more bigger, so much more impactful. That way, when you're coming to our website, you immediately see the story. What I love about that hero is it is a slider. And so every few seconds, it will slide and show a different image. And it has, as you can see, it has a little bit of text as well as the ability to hyperlink. And so in this case, when our girls basketball team won their state championship, we were able to hyperlink to that feature story. And so it's a really good way for getting messaging out. Additionally, you will notice on the right-hand side there is, depending on your view, if you're on your phone, it's a little arrow. You can actually click it and expand it out. If you're on your desktop, it will just stay there. But as you scroll up and down that page, those 3 flags are actually sticky. And so what that means is as you go up and down, they stay there. And so it's really good for highlighting anything that we want to. So for example, if we ever, for a future potential bond, we could potentially highlight a link to that and show that to our community really well. Also, at the very bottom of that page, we added 8 new button bars. This was really with an eye for our families, our current families and our income families, helping them. Our website is massive, y'all. So we wanted to make sure that we could help them really find the information that they need easily. Our next section, if you scroll down, is our news section. Not much happening there other than we did add 2 additional news features so that we could showcase even more news. In addition, we also wanted to give that a different visual look just to kind of freshen it again. We also did the same with our events and live feed, and then we added a portraits of a leader section. That will probably change over time as we learn, as I learn, my team and I learn more about the district needs. We can always swap that out with a different content area, but I think it works really well there for now. And I think this is last but not least, we do have added a program section, and this is really a highlight of everything that's awesome happening with our teaching and learning, and really highlighting the different programs, and that is with an eye for enrollment. And so you all may recall that I came from higher education. Higher education does recruitment really well because they have to, right? And so we wanted to be able to have that same sort of look and feel, keeping in mind if someone's new to the district, they don't know anything about us, what do they need to know? What's top of mind? What's the most important? And so that's really what that addition is there for. And then lastly, we did expand the quick links. That was already there before, but we wanted to add a few other options. We have our flyer distribution requests. We have our board meetings. We also have a share your story link, and so a few other things like that, really to help it serve our community and our families. Oh, I forgot. I was playing with this last night and I realized I forgot to switch it back, so it's okay. I will describe what's happening here. There's supposed to be 4 photos, but I'll just describe for the purposes of this. So, one of the things that I've been working really hard to do is to expand our photo library. If we have nothing, it is an abundance of students. And so anytime I have the opportunity to get in a classroom, get out to a game, get out to a student performance, I want to do that and really enhance our photo library so that we're really telling our story visually. Sometimes that's hard to do, right? Because sometimes there's conflicts. I have personal conflicts. The state championship game was a really good example. I actually had a family emergency and was not able to be there. And so the first image that you can't quite see is actually from UIL. I just reached out to the organization. They had a great photo with Coach Kaufman and the team, and I just asked for permission to use that. They did. Obviously, we credited them, and then we used it. The second image that you also cannot see is from a wonderful woman named Chancey Nix in our community. If you're familiar with Ashley Kyle, she does something very similar. She's a Decatur mom. One of her kids is on cross country, and she has a professional lens, and she lends that lens to us periodically to take awesome photos for us. And so she actually went in my stead, and she took phenomenal photos for the district. The third one, which I really wish you could see, is from a student named Miss Delaney Wilson. She's a student at the high school. And so I worked with Mr. Jacob Wells at the high school to see, do we have any students that can go down to San Antonio and take photo. And this is a wonderful opportunity that we really want to expand, that takes the student classroom learning beyond the books, right? And really give them that real world experience. She was rubbing shoulders and working along some of the best sports photographers in the state. And so to be able to do that is really phenomenal, and we hope to continue that tradition. And last but not least, this photo is a photo of a photo Ashley Kyle took of Delaney and her mom actually at the stadium. And Ashley has been doing this for a long time, really as a gift to her. And then there was one more photo in here from the Wise County Messenger. We have to give them kudos. They take phenomenal photos for us. They write phenomenal stories. They are fair, they are balanced, and every now and then I am able to reach out to them for permission to use one of their photos, and they've really been a gift to us. All right, community engagement. I could go on and on about this, but for the purposes of keeping this, concise, I really just wanted to highlight our Silver Eagles program. This is not a program that I started, but I did continue. This is individuals in our community who are 55 and up, and so if anyone in the audience meets that group, you're welcome to call us, and we'll add you to our call list. They come and basically get lunch, food, and fellowship, and fun. This particular lunch was sponsored by Boyd Powers Williams, and so it took us no money as a district. In addition, they actually did all the work. So they did the setup, they got every participant a gift, they did the cleanup. I mean, it truly was a gift, and it's just an ability, just gives our community the ability to come, enjoy one another's company, and also just learn about what's happening in the district. This particular one, Mr. Blake Haney, who I think is sitting in the audience somewhere, he was our presenter and actually spoke about the Decatur Education Foundation and all of the wonderful things that they have going on. Okay, take a breath. Community newsletter. This is something we added just a few weeks ago. Anyone can go up to the Decatur website to the communications page, and you can actually sign up for our brand new newsletter. Periodically, you will get updates about wonderful things happening with the district. Our first one that we were able to release was the announcement of Mrs. Taylor Williams as our lone finalist for superintendent. And so we will periodically send news out to that list for individuals who maybe are not directly connected either as an employee or as a parent. And so want those individuals to be able to get news as well. Okay, one of my favorite things to talk about. I get really nerdy about communications, and I love looking at data. Just for the sake of this presentation, I only pulled a few data points, but if you take a look at our Facebook page, our reach has really grown really nicely. Our reach over the past 7 months compared to the previous 7-month period has grown 38.3%, which is pretty impressive. We're a smaller school, we're not the biggest school, but that's pretty mighty when you look at those numbers to have that level of growth within that short period. I didn't put it on here, but if you look at our impressions were 2.1 million. And those, I didn't put that one because those are individuals sometimes just scrolling through, so they maybe aren't, that information isn't really saturating them, but it's still exposure for our brand, and it's really wonderful to be able to see that we can have that kind of impact really within our community, beyond our borders, and really into the larger state, nation, and world. Also, if you take a look at our interactions, those have increased by 68%. 67.8%. Really nice metric. I actually love to look at the interactions because that tells you how engaged your audience is. And I would rather have 100 people who are super engaged than have, 1,000 followers and none of them are engaged with your brand. And so this has really been about everything that we do is with an eye towards looking at engagement. And the numbers, they don't lie. People do, but the numbers don't if you look at them properly. And so regularly, we actually look at our data. We look to see what are we posting, how is it performing. We also have a YouTube page. It has a few videos. It's grown modestly. We hope to continue to grow it. Obviously, the lovely board meetings are on there as well. And recently, we've opened a LinkedIn and an Instagram page as well. And then Google Analytics is something that I want to add in the near future. It's not something we currently have, but the value in that is it shows you where your audience is going on your website. So if there's a page that perhaps is not on my radar, perhaps not on Janet's radar, that a number of people are visiting, we want to make sure that that page is concise, easy to read, transparent. And so as soon as we get that look up and going, we will be looking at that. Okay. Key performance indicators. This is the last one that just has a few reports. I'm not going to go into all of these in depth, but I did just pull a quick snapshot report of some of the different metrics compared to what we were doing last year. You can see that we've increased our videos, our email alerts, our newsletters, our surveys, and even our website news. Every metric that I've measured so far has grown, and we're really excited about that. The big difference, though, that I'm super proud about is that we have had an eye for storytelling. A lot of what we were doing in the past was informational, and that is so vital and so important. We wanted to add that storytelling and really tell the story of who we are, and I think we've done that decently successfully, and we'll continue to do that. I will say last year's metric was the full year. This year we've only measured 7 months, so that number will continue to go up. Okay, last couple of slides. Okay, we do have, like every team, we do have a few challenges. I decided to pull out a couple that I thought might be pertinent for the board. One is just maintaining high-level communications. Communications is such a broad field. It's like juggling, and I always tell people we're trying to figure out which balls are glass so we don't drop them, right? And so that's always our challenge as a team, and we don't always get it perfect, and so our goal is to continue to work to really see, okay, what are the high-level needs for us as a district? Also, our campus communicators. Each campus has one person who's designated on that campus to provide social media support in a few other areas, and I have not been able to help them the way that I hope to in the future. And so they do a phenomenal job, and they have other jobs too. So like they're teachers, they're administrators, and they do a wonderful job with the work that they do. So with that, opportunities. So first, top of mind is just better support for our campus level communicators. At Texas Women's, I actually had a series of trainings that I would do with those campus level communicators, and so I hope to do something similar here. It was never mandatory because people are busy, but I did find that they were popular and people did come. Recruitment marketing, that is enrollment-based marketing that is geared towards attracting and retaining families and students. Oh, I got kicked out. I've never seen that. I guess it's telling me I'm too tired. I don't know. Canva's mean today. And lastly, digital and print advertising. That's something that we don't do a whole lot, but I do hope to grow that in the future. So, anywho, that's my report.
Yeah, that was a
Any
lot.
questions?
You got through that well.
It
Thank
was
you.
30 minutes when I recorded over the weekend, so.
You did a good job. All right. Thank you, Monique.
Thank you.
Uh,
Appreciate your work.
Yeah. Okay, next is 11C, financial information. Ms. Watson.
You have your monthly financial statements for the month of February. Right now, your revenue, actually, we're up 3% from the previous year, and most of that is due to collections for the taxes. And then your expenditures, you're sitting at 50%, which we're halfway through the year. For the end of February, it's 50%, and you're sitting at 50.2. So that's right on target
What's the status of the comptroller, the awards program, getting the third star? Are we working on that one?
The third one,
Yes, well, we have two, and the third one would be on the contracts ones. I would like to see that before we go for a bond. Are we working on that?
not at the present moment. There's really, I mean, we don't have any contracts that we've done except for RFQ for the legal services. So most school districts only do the two that we currently have.
Right, but it's part of the district improvement plan. Karen, have we talked about that at all, or have we worked on that this year?
The district improvement plan, we said that we would do it in 26, 27.
So we're just not going to do it?
We would work toward it with the goal of acquiring it by 26, 27.
Is there any way we can expedite that so that we can have it for our bond if we choose to go out for a bond?
It is, I'm looking up, so sorry, I'm not prepared to be more specific about that with you at this moment. The transparency stars, the categories, let me make sure, is that, okay. Never mind that one, okay. So I'm looking for the categories of it. There are three categories. We have the one on debt management. What are the three we have? The two we have?
Traditional.
And the traditional.
Traditional finance.
And the other one is the contract-based one. And that is, I guess, one that we would have to have a significant portion of contracts on an annual basis. I think going into policy where those are reviewed every 3 years and you have to sign.
Does the board think this is something we should focus on to have? So when we go to this bond, we need, in my opinion, to have every opportunity to show to the community that we're balancing our budget, we're striving to use their dollars correctly. I mean, is this something that, I see it as something that's important, and I think it's a database. It's not, we already have the data. It's just getting it online for the community to see.
I think any opportunity to gain the community's trust, especially going out for a bond, I think that's important.
Sure, yeah, we will, let's work with our new superintendent on that.
That sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Watson? Okay, thank you. Nothing else. We move to number 12, adjournment. We are adjourned at 7:06 PM.